Hello, thank you for joining with me. We are in chapter 7 with the Course Companions reading group. This is Healing the Ancient Dream. 27, I think I said 7. Chapter 27. We are on section 4, the transfer of your healing. If you'd like to close your eyes and join me in prayer. Dear Father, if left to my own devices, my perception will be skewed. I surrender to you everything that I think and feel. God, please take my past, plan my future. Send your spirit to redeem my mind that I might be set free. May I be your channel, God, and serve the world. May I become who you would have me be, do what you would have me do, go where you would have me go, and say what you would have me say, and to whom, dear God? God, I thank you for my many, many blessings. Please allow me an open mind and a new experience with this reading and with all things this day. I thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. The transfer of your healing. The only way to heal is to be healed. The miracle extends without your help, but you are needed that it can begin. Accept the miracle of healing and it will go forth because of what it is. It is its nature to extend itself the instant it is born, and it is born the instant it is offered and received. No one can ask another to be healed, but he can let himself be healed and thus offer the other what he has received. Who can bestow upon another what he does not have? And who can share what he denies? Who can bestow upon another what he does not have? And who can share what he denies himself? The Holy Spirit speaks to you. He does not speak to someone else. But by your listening, his voice extends because you have accepted what he says. Health is witness unto health. As long as it is unattested, it remains without conviction. Only when demonstrated has it been proved and must compel belief. No one is healed through double messages. If you wish only to be healed, you heal. Your single purpose makes this possible. But if you are afraid of healing, then it cannot come through you. The only thing that is required for a healing is a lack of fear. The fearful are not healed and cannot heal. This does not mean that conflict must be gone forever from your mind. For if it were, there were no need for healing anymore. But it does mean if only for an instant you love without attack. An instant is sufficient. Miracles wait not on time. The holy instant is the miracle's abiding place. From there, each one is born into this world as witness to a state of mind which has transcended conflict and has reached to peace. It carries comfort from the place of peace into the battleground and demonstrates that war has no effects. For all the hurt that war has sought to bring, the broken bodies and the shattered limbs, the screaming dying and the silent dead, are gently lifted up and comforted. There is no sadness where a miracle has come to heal, and nothing more than just one instant of your love without attack is necessary that all this occur. In that one instant are you healed, and in that single instant is all healing done. What stands apart from you when you accept the blessing that the holy instant brings? Be not afraid of blessing, for the one who blesses you loves all the world and leaves nothing within the world that could be feared. But if you shrink from blessing, will the world indeed seem fearful? For you have withheld its peace and comfort, leaving it to die. Would not a world so bitterly bereft be looked on as a condemnation by the one who could have saved it, but stepped back because he was afraid of being healed. The eyes of all the dying bring reproach, and suffering whispers, "What is there to fear?" Consider well its question. It is asked on your behalf. A dying world asks only that you rest an instant from attack upon yourself, that it be healed. Come to the holy instant and be healed, for nothing that is there received is left behind on your returning to the world. And being blessed, you will bring blessing. Life is given you to give the dying world, and suffering eyes no longer will accuse, but shine in thanks to you who blessing gave. The holy instant's radiance will light your eyes and give them sight to see beyond all suffering and see Christ's face instead. Healing replaces suffering. Who looks on one cannot perceive the other, for they cannot both be there. And what you see, the world will witness and will witness too. Thus is your healing everything the world requires that it may be healed. It needs one lesson that has perfectly been learned, and then, when you forget it, will the world remind you gently of what you have taught. No reinforcement will its thanks withhold from you, who let yourself be healed, that it might live. It will call forth its witnesses to show the face of Christ to you, who brought the sight to them by which they witnessed it. The world of accusation is replaced by one in which all eyes look lovingly upon the friend who brought them their release. And happily your brother will perceive the many friends he thought were enemies. Footnote 25. Your brother here and in the paragraphs below appears to be your holy relationship partner. And back to the text. Problems are not specific, but they take specific forms, and these specific shapes make up the world. And no one understands the nature of his problem. If he did, it would be there no more for him to see. Its very nature is that it is not. And thus, while he perceives it, he cannot perceive it as it is. But healing is apparent in specific instances and generalizes to include them all. This is because they really are the same despite their different forms. All learning aims at transfer, which becomes complete within two situations which are seen as one. Footnote 26. In psychology, transfer of learning is when learning attained in one context transfers to another context. As the above sentence states, this transfer occurs according to the similarity perceived between the two contexts. The point the Course is making here is that the healing generalizes to all problems in all situations, because each problem, despite its unique form, has the same nature as the others. Its very nature is that it is not. And back to the text. I'm going to repeat that sentence. All learning aims at transfer, which becomes complete within two situations which are seen as one, for only common elements are there, but this can only be attained by one who does not see the differences you see. The total transfer of your learning is not made by you, but that it has been made in spite of all the differences you see convinces you that they could not be real. Your healing will extend and will be brought to problems that you thought were not your own. And it will also be apparent that your many different problems will be solved, as any one of them has been escaped. It cannot be their differences which make this possible, for learning does not jump from situations to their opposites and bring the same effects. All healing must proceed in lawful manner, in accord with laws that have been properly perceived but never violated. Fear you not the way that you perceive them. You are wrong, but there is one within you who is right. Leave, then, the transfer of your learning to the one who really understands its laws, and who will guarantee that they remain unviolated and unlimited. Your part is merely to apply what he has taught you to yourself, and he will do the rest. And thus the power of your learning will be proved to you by all the many different witnesses it finds. Your brother first among them will be seen, but thousands stand behind him, and beyond each one of them there are 1,000 more. Each one may seem to have a problem which is different from the rest, yet they are solved together, and their common answer shows the questions could not have been separate. Peace be to you whom is healing offered. Footnote 27. Luke 24:36, and as they thus spake, Jesus himself stood in the midst of them, and saith unto them, Peace be to you. See also John 20:19, 20:21, and 20:26. And you, back to the text, and you will learn that peace is given you when you accept the healing for yourself. Its total value need not be appraised by you to let you understand that you have benefited from it. What occurred within the instant which love entered in without attack will stay with you forever. Your healing will be one of its effects, as will your brother's. Everywhere you go will you behold its multiplied effects. Yet all the witnesses that you behold will be far less than all there really are. Infinity cannot be understood by merely counting up its separate parts. God thanks you for your healing, for he knows it is a gift of love unto his Son, and therefore it is given unto him. And now we will read Robert Perry's commentary on this section, section 4, the transfer of your healing. All right, day 317. This section reminds me of the sole responsibility of the miracle worker, which is in chapter 2, section 8. It is a more poetic and ultimately more powerful way of addressing the same issue. In order to give healing, we must accept healing unto ourselves. How do we give healing? We enter into a holy instant in which we love without attack. In this instant, our love is so pure that it contains nothing that is not itself. It is therefore free of all fear. Although we are giving healing in this moment, accepting something this pure into our minds heals us. And this is crucial, for we cannot give what we do not have. Healing can only go forth from us once it has established a home in our own minds. And this seems to be the catch. The unspoken premise of this section is that we shrink from our own healing. Why would we do that? You would think that our own healing would be the thing we welcome the most readily. Jesus doesn't explain why we shrink from being healed, but he does lay out the results. When we refuse our own healing, we intuitively realize that we have also refused the power to heal others. Now, in all the suffering that we see around us, suffering we could have healed, we hear an implicit condemnation of us. The eyes of all the dying bring reproach, and suffering whispers, "What is there to fear? What on earth is your problem?" The suffering of the world whispers to us, "Why are you so scared of being healed?" When Jesus says, "Consider well its question," do you see what that implies? It implies that this situation is not hypothetical, but actual. We are in it now. We have refused our healing, and so all the suffering we see around us brings a semi-conscious feeling of reproach, silently asking what we are so afraid of. If we consider well this question and realize there is nothing to be afraid of, a doorway opens before us. We enter into a holy instant in which we love without attack. The miracle then goes forth from us and heals the effects of war around us. The broken lives, the shattered relationships, the tortured minds, and the grieving hearts. As these are healed, suffering eyes no longer will accuse, but shine in thanks to you who blessing gave. The thanks that shines from these eyes will reinforce our own healing. And even when we forget the precious lesson that we learned, the world will gently remind us. In light of all this, we must again ask, what on earth are we afraid of? The foregoing seems to assume that we were intentionally giving healing, but the final paragraphs of this section speak as if our healing will also go forth without our conscious cooperation. The idea there is that we first accept the healing of one of our problems. Based on the principle of the transfer of learning, this healing should generalize to any problems of ours and even any problems of others that are like the first one. But how much are they like the first one? Problems all look different to us. They do not, however, look different to the Holy Spirit. He sees that the essential nature of every problem is that it is not. In His eyes, therefore, the healing of our one problem should generalize to all problems, revealing that all of them are not, causing all of them to disappear. This is why we should leave the transfer of our learning to the Holy Spirit. Your part is merely to apply what He has taught you to yourself, and He will do the rest. We will see the effects of our healing all around us. We will see our brother healed first of all, but thousands stand behind him, and beyond each one of them there are 1,000 more. All of them together will prove to us the power of our healing and the nothingness of all problems. It is impossible to calculate then just how much comes from a single instant in which we love without attack. Your healing will be one of its effects, as will your brother's. Everywhere you go will you behold its multiplied effects. Yet all the witnesses that you behold will be far less than all there really are. This is not mere hyperbole. Think of the multiplied effect that have come out of Helen and Bill's holy instant in 1965, in which they loved without attack, the instant that led to the scribing of the Course. Think of the ever-widening ripples of healing that have come out of that. Given how much one such instant can change the world, is it really so hard to stop fearing it and welcome it instead? And there it is, day 317. That was Robert Perry's commentary, section 4 of chapter 27, the transfer of your healing. Thank you so much for joining with me. I love you. Have a beautiful day.